And just while I'm doing that, I've got another odd one out to start off today. And a bit of a different one. You have to have a good think about this. There's no numbers in this one. There's not really too many shapes in this one, but there's still stuff that makes it the odd one out. So I've numbered them 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I want you to let me know in the chat which one you think is the odd one out and why. Important to say why. So which one is the odd one out and why? I'll read out the answers as they come in. And you can give more than one answer as well. You don't just have to give one answer. Okay. And Leon, I've just changed your name now. So it should be your own name. Great stuff. So Florence has said number 4 because it's the only pencil. And then Florence and Margaret both said number 4 because that pencil is facing a different direction, facing backwards, compared to the other crayons. So it's the only one facing that direction. Great stuff. Great stuff, Ella Rose. Ella has been looking at the ruler and she's saying that number 4, because that pencil is the longest. So if you look at the ruler, it's the longest one. So good job. Super. Owen saying number 3, because it's the only metal ruler. Very good, Owen. So the others are plastic or wood, whereas number 3 is the only one that is metal. No problem. Ada, I'll change your name there now. Sorry I have to change it each day, guys. It doesn't save the names once we end the class, but I'll change them for you nice and easily. Nessa is saying number 3 because it's the only one that has the pencil or the crayon at the bottom. Super. Great stuff. Richard saying number 3 because that's the smallest pencil or crayon. Very good. Cara is saying number 4 because it's the longest as well. Good stuff. And Roman is saying number 3 because it's the shortest. Avine is saying number 4 is backwards. Good stuff. Perfect. Great stuff. Emily. Great stuff, Katie. So Katie is saying that this crayon in number 2 is the thickest one. It's the thickest. Great stuff. Yellow background, Sandra. Good job. Great stuff. Okay, super. We've loads of them coming in. Going to move on to the next one. And let me see. Which one will we do? I think we might do this bottom one here. The clocks. With the clocks. Good stuff. Yeah, I'll change your name there, Naya. Let's see. So, sorry, I'll number these guys. And you can let me know which one you think is the odd one out. So you have to think about this one. They're all clocks, but there's differences in all of them. There you go, Naya. Your name is changed now. And Oshin, change your name as well. No problem if you have to go, Florence. Thanks for joining. And Ria, I'll change your name now as well. So let me know, guys, which one you think is the odd one out and why. So Margaret is saying number 3 because it's the only digital clock. Very good. So number 3 is the only digital clock. All the other clocks are analog. Katie just said the same as well, and so did Emily. Great stuff. And so did Roman. You're all spotting that one, guys, that it's the only digital clock. Great stuff. And Ella Rose has said number 3 because of the green background. Great stuff. Nessa, you've said it's digital as well. And Oshin's seeing green background. Great stuff. Stuff. Ria, have changed your name now. Owen is saying the digital clock as well. Naya is saying it. Great stuff. Loads of people saying it's digital. Okay, so Richard has got a different one now. He said that 3 because 3 is the only one that doesn't have a circular clock face. So all the others have a circle at the front of their clock, whereas number 3 doesn't. And then he's also said that number 2, because number 2 is the only black clock. So it's all blacked out The other ones have different colors on them. Super. Great stuff. Oh, yeah. Nea is saying that number 2 doesn't have any numbers. It only has lines. Great stuff. Ria is saying that number 2 has a different time. Yeah, good stuff. Super. Is number 4 at 3 o'clock? Question for you. Is number 4 at 3 o'clock? Have a look at the hands. It's kind of a trick question, that. They tried to trick you out in number 4 with the hands. So if you look at the hands, the big hand is actually pointing at 3. So it's pointing at 3, the big hand. And the small hand is pointing at 12. So it's actually, I mean, the hand should be slightly past 12, but it's more like 12:15 rather than 3 o'clock. So they tried to trick you. Our clocks wouldn't actually show it like that because the hand would be past 12. But that was how they tried to trick you on that one. Super. Okay. Great stuff. I think we have time for one more before we move into our other questions. And we are going to let's do this one here. Great stuff. So keep your answers coming on this one. Which one do you think is the odd one out? Last one we'll do on these for today, and then we'll move on to our other questions. And class will be about 45 minutes today. And yeah, Richard will play that game. We'll play Kahoot in about 20 minutes. And we'll do some other work before that. We'll keep it fun. So let me know which you think is the odd one out here. This one might require a bit more thinking. This one is a tougher one. But we've already got answers in the chat. We have got Margaret saying number 2 because it's not a quarter. But stuff, there's no quarters in number 2. And Emily is saying number 1 because the background, yeah, number 1, the background. So it's got a yellow background, while all the rest of them have white backgrounds. Ella Rose just said the same, the yellow background. Great stuff. Keep the answers coming, guys. Katie's saying number 3 because it only has 2 squares. Good stuff. So they all have more sections than that. This one has only got 2 little squares inside in the little rectangle. Ria just said the same as well. Good stuff. Spotting the same stuff at the same time. Great stuff. Okay, I'll do one more minute of this one. This one's a bit harder now than the other ones we did. Number 3 because there is a red. Yeah, very good. Sorry, number 3 because there's a red. Yeah, good stuff. And number 4 has the red outline. Super. Number 1 has a different background. Great stuff. Great stuff. Super. What about, there's one I'm thinking to do with triangles. Can anyone think which one would be the odd one out if we're talking about triangles? Let's see what people think. Can you find one that's the odd one out because of triangles? Yeah, that's no problem, Richard. I guess that you meant that number 4, right? So which one is the odd one out because of triangles? And explain why. Why is it? So some Roman, Isabel, and Margaret all have the right number. And why is that one the odd one out? Because of triangles. Waiting for someone to say it now in the chat. Good stuff, Ada. Great stuff, Isabel. You got it there, the first person to say it. So, number 4 is the odd one out to do with triangles because it is the only one that has triangles in it. All of the rest of the shapes don't have triangles in them, but number 4 does have triangles in them. Great stuff. Great stuff. Okay, super. Okay, I think we're ready to move on to, we're going to start off with a bit of addition, just to practice that a bit, make sure our maths brains we'll work a bit of the rust out of our maths brains. And then we'll move on to some word problems that'll have some addition. So first one here, I've just decided, sorry about my writing, it's a bit all over the place. I've decided just in the first one to include the heading of hundreds, tens, and units, just because I think it's a really good practice to do. Keeping everything in line underneath each other, especially maybe if you're just going into third class now, making a step up from second class. So I think this will be quite helpful to make sure everything is lined up correctly. And yeah, exactly, Katie. You were saying the same about the triangles there. Good stuff. Great stuff. So give this question a go. And I want you to write in the headings, the 110 and units along the top. You don't have to do it for every question, but I'd like everyone to do it for this question, just to get into the practice of it. Because it's really important that numbers are lined up underneath each other. If they're not, if you're adding the wrong numbers together, you won't get the right answer. Great stuff. Loads of answers flying in. Loads of answers flying in. Great stuff. Good stuff there, Nicole and Sophia, Leon, Owen, Emily, and Rose. Have another look at it there, Richard. Have another look at it as well, Margaret, just a tiny bit. And Isabel as well. Have another quick look at those. And again, don't worry if you get if you're a bit confused or you make a little mistake with these, don't worry at all. Okay, I'm going to go through this one now. Don't worry if you're still working on it. So, the reason I put the headings is to make sure that I add the right numbers together. So really, this sum would look like this. So 348 plus 94. And I just added in the extra bits just to make sure that I'm adding the right numbers together. So just a little column going down. And then we've got hundreds, tens, and units. So that's where that stuff came from. Now, we've got 8 plus 4. 8 plus 4 equals 12. Put down your 2, carry up your 1. Then you've got 4 plus 9 equals 13. Plus 1 is 14. Put down your 4, carry up your 1. 3 plus 0 plus 1 equals 3. Sorry, equals 4. Equals 4. 442 is your answer there. If you're not sure how I got that, or if you have any questions on that, let me know. Don't worry if you didn't get it. A lot of the time, especially for the first question of the day, there could just be a small little adding mistake. So don't worry there. 442 is the first answer. Okay, super. I've got another question for you here now. It is 709 plus 27. So that's 709 plus 27. No problem, Katie. Are you feeling okay on that question now? Look, I think you got the answer in the end. So if you're feeling all good, no problem. But if you do have a question, do let me know. So 709 plus 27. Take your time with it. Marcus, you're quick off the mark. Good stuff. But take your time with it, guys. Stuff, Emily. Have another look there, Sam. Just at your 10. Oh, yeah, you got it there. Just a little typo. Great stuff. Super, guys. Have another quick look at it there, Leon. Good stuff. I just like to let people know if they just need to have a quick look at it, and then you can see if you get it right before I finish putting up the answer. Good stuff. Great stuff, Ella Rose, Richard, Roman, great stuff. Okay, super. So we've got 9 plus 7, and that will equal 16. Put down your 6, carry up your 1. 0 plus 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Then you've got 7 plus 0 equals 7. 736. 736 is your answer there. Apologies if I if I'm going a bit fast, hopefully everyone's getting a chance to finish them. But no problem if you didn't get a chance. The main thing, there is the answer there now. Okay, let me see, if anybody has a question on that, let me know. I see a lot of right answers, but if you do have a question, do let me know. And if you just made a small little adding mistake, do not worry at all. Those happen everybody. Happen to me sometimes at the top of a classroom. I'm telling the students what to do, and then I make a mistake. And sure, look, these things happen. Okay. The next two questions, I'm going to leave ye write them yourselves. So I'm not going to write them going down. I want you to do question 3 right now. Just question 3. So question 3, and you'll have to write it down yourselves. It is a bit tricky. You're right, Sandra. We've now got thousands in it as well. So it definitely is a bit tricky. Make sure you have your thousands with your thousands, your hundreds with your hundreds, your tens with your tens, and your units with your units. And I want you to write them on top of each other going down. Take your time with it. Just want to challenge you a bit, make sure nobody's falling. Keep you on your toes. Good stuff, Margaret. Good stuff, Emily. And we'll run through the answer and how to write it in a second as well, once everyone has had a chance to try it. Good stuff, Isabel. Good stuff, Owen and Nessa. Nearly there, Leon. Just have another quick look. Good stuff, Ella Rose. Same for you, Richard. Just have another quick look. You're nearly there. And if you're not sure how to do it, no problem. We'll run through it in a second. Good stuff. More answers coming through. Okay, I'm going to write up how you write that down now. And then if you need to have a quick look back over, that's fine. So we've got 1,086. And we're adding 587. So we've got TH for our 1 for thousands. Then we've got H for our 0 and our 5. T for our tens, and U for our units. So this is what our question will look like now. So as you can see, I've lined everything up on top of each other. Really important that the units stay underneath each other, the tens are underneath each other, and the hundreds are underneath each other. Okay, and then we've got 6 plus 7 equals 13. Put down your 3 and carry up your 1. 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 1, 17. Carry up the 1. 0 plus 5 is 5, plus 1 is 6. And then 1 plus 0 equals 1. So 1,673 is your final answer there. 1,673. Okay. Does anybody have a question on that? It might be a question about how do I know where to line them up to make sure the right number is on top of the right number or anything. Let me know if you have a question. And if you don't, I'm going to give you one more of these now before we move on to some word problems. And we're going to do question 5. So you don't need to worry about question 4. Give question 5 a go. Thousands. Okay, Richard, which part is confusing you? Is it the thousands part? Or is it how to know where you put them? Let me know which part is giving you a bit of confusion. And I'm sure other people will have the same question as you if you do put it into chat. The thousands part, no problem. So we are now moving up from our hundreds. We had our hundreds, and now we're on to our thousands. The thousands is this TH here. And to be honest, Richard, it's just another column. It's the same as when you went from tens and then you go up to hundreds. It's just another line of numbers. And the TH is the thousands. So our first number in question 3 was 1,086. So this number here is going to go in our thousands column. and we're adding 587. So we're adding 587. There's no thousand for 587, so we don't have to put anything into the thousands column for that. So it's 1086 plus 587. 0 plus 1 plus 0 in our thousands column means we just have 1 in our thousands in the answer. Is that okay, Richard? If you're still feeling a bit unsure, this next question might help you. No problem, Katie. If you just put the wrong answer in the chat, it's no problem at all. Good man, Richard. Good stuff. Great stuff, guys. And when you get your answer as well for question 5, think about it. Does it make sense? So you're adding something in the 5,000s plus 1,000. What I would say straight away, 5 plus 1 in our thousands column, my answer should be in the 6,000s. Think about that straight away. 5 plus 1, it should be in the 6,000s, just to give you a rough idea. If you don't have something in the 6,000s, then maybe just have a quick check over it. And I'm going to write it down now to show you what it should look like written down. So 1,000, so we have 1 in our thousands column, 496 plus 5,021. So we'll put TH in our thousands column, H for our hundreds, T for our tens, and U for our units. So this is what our question should look like. Now, your writing might be neater than mine, so yours might look nicer than mine, but that is what we should be looking at. 1,496 plus 5,021. Don't worry if you didn't get a chance to finish it. The main thing is that you have it lined up nicely underneath each other. So we've got 6 plus 1, 7. 9 plus 2 is 11. Put down your 1, carry up another 1. 4 plus 0 is 4, plus 1 is 5. And then 1 plus 5 equals 6. 6,517. 6,517. So again, that was why I said, have a look at your thousands. If you've 1,000 plus 5,000, it should be something in the 6,000s, and our answer is in the 6,000s. 6,517. Don't worry if you didn't get that right. Don't worry at all. Please don't worry. It's all about trying our best and giving it a go. We just did question 5 there, and we're just finished it. If anybody has a question, let me know. But we'll move on to 1 or 2 word problems, and in about 4 minutes' time, we're going to start our Kahoot. So keep going, guys. We're nearly there. We'll be on our Kahoot in no time. But if you do have a question, do let me know, please. And thank you. Okay, we're going to have a look at our word problems. Let me see. Okay, have a look at this word problem first. So it says, there were 7,000 blueberries growing on Blueberry Hill. 3,416 were picked in September to make jam. Birds ate 1,219. How many blueberries were left? So before you do the question, let me know, are we adding or are we subtracting here? What do you think? Are we going to be doing some adding or are we subtracting? So there was 7,000 at the start. Then 3,416 were picked to make jam. Then after that, birds ate 1,219. So were we getting more blueberries, or were we getting, was there being less and less? Were they being taken away? Great stuff. I can see Roman, Owen, Emily, Nessa, Sandra, Sam, Katie, Ada, good stuff. Ria, good stuff. Like that use of the emoji, Ria, good stuff. All saying, we're subtracting, we're taking away. So we're starting off with 7,000. So this is the first part of it. 7,000 minus 3,416. So we're just doing this question now that's on the screen. So 7,000 minus 3,416. Now, you are going to have to go next door to borrow all the way up to the 7. Because, no problem, I'll actually help you out. Some people, this is a hard one to start off with, so I'm going to help you out with this one. So, if you're fine with it, keep working away. And if you're a bit unsure on how to do the subtraction when you've all these zeros, you can have a look at the screen now. So 0 take away 6, we can't do. We need to go next door. But when we go next door, it's 0. There's nothing there because it's a 0. And when we go next door again, it's another 0. So what we need to do is we need to cross out this 7, and it becomes a 6. And we give 1 to the next door neighbor. Now we need to cross that out, turn it into a 9, because we need to give 1 to that next door neighbor. And then we need to cross out that one again, and that becomes a 9 to give our 1 to our next door neighbor at the very end. Before I go any further, does anybody have any questions about that? If you're working away, fine, no problem. But if you have any questions about what I just did there, let me know. So just pop it into the chat if you have a question. So I'll run through it again very quickly. So we've got 7,000 minus 3,416. It is a tricky question. While you were gone, Richard, we just did one more question of adding. And then this is our first question now of word problems. And we'll be on to our Kahoot after this question. So when we try and do 0 minus 6, we can't do it. As the saying goes, if you use this phrase, there's more on the floor, so we need to go next door. But our next door neighbor still has 0, so we can't take anything off them. Then if we go next door again, they also have 0. So we have to go down to the very end and cross out our 7. And that becomes a 6 because we're giving 1 to our next door neighbor. Then if we need to cross, we still need to give 1s to these 0s down here, these neighbors. So I need to cross out this 10, and it becomes a 9. I give 1 next door. Then I cross out this 10, becomes a 9 again, and I give 1 next door again. So now we have something on the top for every number. So now we can start our subtraction. So 10 minus 6 is 4. 9 minus 1 is 8. 9 minus 4 is 5. And 6 minus 3 is 3. So the answer to the first part is 3,584. That's the answer to the first part. If that's as far as you got, no problem. Just for the people who did get further, I'm just going to show you what did you do for the second part. Again, if you made a mistake, don't worry at all. So now we need to take away this 1,219. We still need to take this away. This is what the birds ate. 1,219. So 4 minus 9, we can't do. So we need to go next door, cross out that 8, and it becomes a 7. 14 minus 9 is 5. 7 minus 1 is 6. 5 minus 2 is 3. And 3 minus 1 is 2. Final answer, 2,365. Okay. Got through a lot there. If you have a question on that one, let me know. I will be moving on to our Kahoot in just a couple of seconds. If you got that one wrong, don't worry at all. We just wanted to do a bit of practice on it. And that was actually quite a hard question because You had a lot of zeros in the first part. Okay, if you have any questions, you can send them in, and we're going to move on to our Kahoot while